Hello everyone. Today in my video I will explain features of SQL. Before starting the video, I will request to those who haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe it because more number of views and more number of subscription will encourage me to upload more videos. And just click on this notification bell to get new videos. Thank you so much. Now, what is SQL? SQL is nothing but structured query language. Language is used for communication purpose. Here also, one language is used between user and database. That is nothing but structured query language. User uses structured query language to get the information from the database. Number of informations, number of data will be retrieved by the users using SQL. So here I will explain different features of SQL. So why it is structured? Because it has fixed structure, it has fixed schema, and it has some data model. So I will explain it with example. If we have student table, so student is my table which has three attributes: role, name, address. So whenever we say it has fixed structure, fixed schema, what does it mean? Before retrieving the data from the student table, we have to create the table, and that table will contain role, name and address. So we cannot insert record for class attribute. We cannot insert record for email attribute because initially we have declared student is the table which has only three attributes. So it has fixed structure, fixed schema. This is nothing but schema definition for student, which shows only three attributes. And when we have ER model, when we have graphical representation of student, that ER model can be converted into relational model. And relational model is nothing but relational database. That's what it is also called as relational database. Why? Because we can show relationship between different entity sets. That's what it is called as relational database. Initially, it is used to call as a SQL. SQL is nothing but simple English query language. But nowadays, it is called as SQL. Why it is a simple English query language? Because all the statements, all the commands are very simple and very easy to understand. Like create database, create table, insert records, update records, delete records, etc. So SQL is domain specific language. What is domain? Domain is nothing but set of permitted values for a particular attribute. For example, if we talk about role, so role will contain data type integer, name will have character values, address will have character values. So here we are specifying a particular data type for each and every attribute. So that's what it is, a domain specific language. SQL is a declarative language. There are two types of languages, declarative and procedural. But SQL is a declarative because we are focusing on what to do instead of how to do. SQL contains DDL, DML, DCL and TCL commands. DDL stands for Data Definition Language, in which we, we are having create, alter, drop, truncate, rename commands. Then we have DML, data manipulation language, under which we have insert, update, delete commands. DCL, data control language, in which we have grant and revoke. TCL, transaction control language, in which we have commit, rollback, save point, set transaction commands. DDL nothing but data definition language through which we can modify the structure of the table. We can create the structure of the table. Whereas DML, we can manipulate the data. We are working on the actual records of the table. That's what it is, a data manipulation. And DCL, data control, through which we can give the permission to the different users. We can grant permission, we can revoke permission. And for better understanding of DDL, DML and DCL, you can refer my previous videos. So Again, the next feature, SQL has different constraints like primary key, foreign key, unique key, default, not null, check. And these type of constraints can be applied on the table. When we create table, these type of constraints can be applied on a particular attribute. Primary key, which identifies records uniquely. Foreign key, we can give reference between two tables. Unique key, by specifying unique key, that attribute should contain unique value. Default values can be specified, not null, and even check constraints can be applied. Again, for better understanding of the different constraints, you can refer my previous videos in which I have explained all the constraints with example and its implementation. Then SQL has the next feature, different operators. It contains different operators like logical operators, comparison operators, arithmetic operators, conditional operators. When we execute select statement, we can use these different types of operators in the select query. We have like operator, between clause, in clause, not in, exist, not exist, etc. We have different clauses in SQL like where clause. When we specify a condition, then we use where clause. Then we have order by clause, group by clause, having clause. In my next videos, I will be explaining all the clauses, all the operators in details, in which I will be explaining the implementation of each and every operator and clauses. We have join operations also like natural join, inner join, outer join, etc. SQL has nested query. What is nested query? That is nothing but, which is also called as subquery. Query inside query. Select statement within select statement. That is nothing but nested query. A very interesting feature SQL has is PLSQL, Programming Language SQL, which contains trigger, procedure, function, cursor. These are a programming languages code blocks through which we can execute various queries, through which we can extract the data from the database. So these are various features of SQL. I Then the next thing is data type. Various data types are there. Char, that is nothing but which has a fixed size of characters. Varchar, variable length. Then int, integer, small integer, big integer. We have float, date data type. We can we can give on a particular attribute, date data type, which has format year, month, date. We can have combination of date and time also, date time, which contains year, month, date, hour, minute, second. Then if we specify timestamp, it contains everything like this: year, month, date, hour, minute, second. Then we can have time also, in which we can specify only time, hour, minute, second. And we have boolean data type also. So these are the various data types which we can apply while creating the tables. So these are the simple features of SQL. I hope you must have understood the basic features of SQL. Thank you so much.